So welcome to Meet the Headliners, part 1. And very, very chuffed to be at John Taylor's house and announcing Duran Duran as the Friday headliner at Bestival 2015. We made it.
Wow, yeah, I mean, it's fantastic for us. It's a real milestone, and we're very excited. It's great.
Well, I'm sort of firm believer in good things come to those who wait, and we have plugged away at you guys for years now, so I know the Bestival family, from the announcement, it's just gone down so well. So it's finally we've managed to tempt you back into playing.
Yeah, you have to play hard to get sometimes, Rob.
Is that what it is? Teasing us. So you're back with a new album.
Yep.
Produced by our mutual friend, Mr. Nile Rodgers.
Yep.
Well, partially.
Yep. Niall's on it. Mark Ronson's on it. Mr. Hudson's on it. It's probably the first time we've done an album like this, where we've opened up to a number of different producers. We've got a bunch of features on it. Kaiser sings on it. Janelle Monáe sings on it. So Violet sings on it.
Your dog.
And so it's been a couple of years in the making, but we're feeling good about it. And this will be the first show really behind the record. So it's going to be a big one.
Is it the first show in the UK or?
First show anywhere, actually, where it's going to be, where the album's going to be showcased.
Right, okay. But you've obviously got history with Niall.
Yep.
Niall's played the last 3 or 4 years at Bestival, and Notorious always gets a bit of an airing. So
yeah.
Finally, the real band will be there.
That'll be amazing. I mean, we're still figuring out exactly how we're going to do that. But actually, the single, which is the single Niall features on, so we're going to be. We're going to be doing a lot of work with him over the summer, and so we're going to get to showcase that as it should be heard, and Notorious too, and anything else we can play together.
So what have you kind of heard about Bestival?
That it's a seriously good time for everybody. That it's kind of cool and mellow, and a very, very positive kind of good feeling. Except for this year, I hear it's going to be
really wild and crazy.
I mean, it's funny because we took some time out and sort of came back on the scene about 10 years ago, I guess. And I felt that when we came back, like festivals had become the thing, in the 80s. Like when Duran really came up, it was clubs, theatres, arenas. It was indoor business, And I guess really like the 90s, like the outdoor thing came back in a big way. And we had to look at this thing and go, wow, how are we gonna fit our thing into that,
Yeah.
And so it's been like a part of, we've had to really grow into it, We've done Roskilde, we did Coachella, and it's always like, okay, so how are we gonna deal with this? How are we going to make this special? And so it's exciting, It's not something we just kind of set to automatic and cruise into. It's like, wow, we've really got to. How are we going to make this great? It's exciting.
Rehearsal.
Yeah,
Rehearsal.
That's something. Yeah.
I mean, there are some bands that really don't like the idea of, like Adele has said she'll never do like a festival ever. It's just like she can't control, the outside. But you guys aren't sort of scared about that, you.
I don't know why anybody would say that, actually. I mean, I find that festival audiences are very generous. I mean, again, as a fan, I never really did festivals as a kid. I would go and see bands and artists, at the Odeon and at the Town Hall, and then when they started playing. Even like arenas, I wasn't really crazy about that. I like seeing bands in small venues, and so that's what I knew how to do. And again, I've had to get out there and go to festivals and see how this works, because it's a different kind of thing. But as I say, I find festival goers, very, very generous. Maybe because it's like if they don't like what's going on, they can go over to another stage.
Yeah.
It's like they're not. It's a different kind of thing.
You've got the freedom to move around here. That Bestival people, you better be there though.
Yeah, except when we're playing, of course, you have no freedom whatsoever.
So there's 50,000 people. It's the theme this year is Summer of Love. I don't know if you've heard that. There's a lot of dressing up goes on, so you might need to start thinking about your outfits.
Yeah.
Okay, bass players. I played the bass in a band when I was a kid. Why is the bass guitar the best instrument?
Oh, I don't know if it is. You know, everybody wanted to be a guitar player in 1978. You know, and
You ended up with the bass.
well, I used to actually. I thought Paul Simonon was like the coolest guy in the Clash, and then I got into disco too, which was kind of weird. But around about the time I was into punk, I got into disco too, and disco's really a bass player's music. You know, Bernard.
Yeah, so I
Edwards.
read that Bernard Edwards, half of Chic, obviously.
Yeah, and his bass really spoke to me. So at the time where we were in Birmingham, we were trying to get something going, and there was Nick and Roger and myself, and there was like everybody we could find. There was plenty of guitarists going, but nobody wanted to play bass. So I just shifted to bass, and then I really got that warm and fuzzy feeling every time I locked into Roger's bass drum, you know. And I realised together we could kind of build this architecture, you know, and it just felt really good, you know. Every time we went, dum, 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 you know, and it locked in, and that was kind of, you know, we started building around that, and I think you can kind of. I'm not the most disciplined of musicians, you know, and I think like guitar players, keyboard players, they got to put in a lot of time, you know. You've really got to have your chops up, you know.
Well,
Bass players, we can get away with
with
murder.
Just riffing, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for letting us come by. And I was reading. I don't know if this is true, if this is just Wikipedia getting it wrong, but you grew up in Hollywood, Birmingham.
Correct.
And now you're in Hollywood,
I know.
LA.
I love that symmetry.
And how do you keep the band together? I mean, Simon's in London. You're here. Like,
Yeah.
is that sort of a?
They're all Londoners.
It's just you that's.
Yeah, but you know what? I love the energy that I get from Los Angeles, and I think actually that the band kind of. I'm not going to say it benefits from it, but I think it benefits from it. There's an energy over here that I really pick up on, and I take that back to London and throw that into the studio, and I think it helps us, you know, keep moving, because we're the same guys as we were 30 years ago, you know, and you're kind of trying to reinvent yourself every year, every album, you know, and you've got to find it somewhere.
New bass lines.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Well, 90 minutes, Friday night, Bestival headliners. Thank you so much,
Thank
John
you.
Taylor,
Can't wait.
Duran
Cheers.
Duran.